We're going to kick off today's press conferences with Texas offense. Tonight is also our Rico's River Rally, our pep rally that starts at 5 in the Arneson River Theater. There are some perches if you need directions on how to best shoot that event. It is kind of our signature event with players on river cruisers and captains and coach on the stage. And then tonight we do have media hospitality in 3004 at the Merritt Riverwalk. All right, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to hear the Texas offense. I'd like to start by introducing offensive coordinator Kyle Flood. Kyle?
Oh, thank you. Let me start by just thanking everybody here in San Antonio and everybody associated with the Valero Alamo Bowl. Our experience to this point has been great. We've had no issues. The hotel's been great. The practice facility over at Trinity has been phenomenal. And really, we feel like we've been treated first class with everything that they've done. So we're having a great experience here. We're looking forward to the game. We know that's coming up here pretty quick. And I've got some great players here with us today. To my left, Quinn Ewers, our quarterback, J.T. Sanders, our tight end, Jake Majors, our starting center, and Xavier Worthy, one of our wide receivers. So with that, I would open it for questions.
Thank you. If you would raise hands, we are transcribing off-site and remotely, so please direct any question to one player or coach, and we'll get everybody with hand raised. First questions in the front, middle.
Quinn, from what you've seen on film, what is your takes on this Washington defense and their secondary?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think they play really hard. They don't do a ton of stuff like from recent teams that we've seen, but what they do, they're really good at. And I think that's their focus is, stick to what they like to do and what they're good at. And they play really hard and they play well together. And they're coached really well. Should be a fun matchup.
Front, middle. Against the wall.
Xavier, obviously there's been a lot of speculation about your future at Texas. Do you plan to be a Longhorn in 2023?
I'm just focused on the game on Thursday.
Next question. Right. Middle. Oh. On the corner. Chip.
Kyle, for you and Quinn, you just talk about what you've been able to get accomplished in the bowl practices. Sark talked about a training camp mentality at the beginning, kind of getting back to fundamentals, and for Quinn, just what that's done for you, because I know you talked about your footwork and stuff like that, just how good you're feeling about things after having these bowl practices.
There's no question that bowl prep has a spring practice kind of feel in the very beginning when you're working against your own defense. We're always evaluating ourselves, but during the season, when you're putting in a new game plan every week, you don't always have the time to go back and focus on the absolute details of your position, things like that footwork that you talked about, the quarterback position. We've got some younger players that are going to have a bigger role in this game than they've had in other games this year for a lot of different reasons. And it has given them a chance to kind of absorb the game plan and get acclimated to the rest of the guys around them. So we're really pleased with the bowl prep to this point. I think the fact that you have an extended time to install the game plan and then go back over it is going to serve some of the younger players really well, as we go forward. But the days in the beginning when you just start practicing after the season's over and they've had a little bit of time off to take finals and things like that, I think those are the days that are really critical to get back to your fundamental work.
Kind of just to piggyback off that, we kind of get to go back to the basics, and like Coach said, we get to understand the what we're going to do on the offensive side of the ball. Well, and again, a lot of reps for the younger guys when they become a lot more comfortable.
Thank you, Quinn. Brock?
Coach Flood, for you, what stands out about Washington's front four? Their edges are pretty well known. Just kind of what stands out about UW's defensive front?
Sure. I think you answered the question for me. I appreciate that. Those edge players are pretty good now. They are, in my opinion, they remind me of a pro-style defense. When you work in the NFL and you play against defenses that have good pass rushers, what you see on third down is you see a lot of them in the game at the same time. And it's 3, 8, 58. They'll play on third down with 3 edge players at the same time. On first and second down, they like to be in nickel, but you watch the Oregon State game and they're playing base defense, like an NFL defense, something we really don't see very much of in the Big 12. So again, I think the bowl prep being extended has given us a chance to kind of go back to that. And our defense doing that as well has helped us. So I think they're really good up front. Their sack numbers kind of play that out, and really everything they do starts with those front guys being so disruptive.
Go to front, center.
Hey, Quinn, how were you able to establish such a good rapport with JT? Seemed like you guys clicked from jump. And also, what have you guys been working on in this bowl prep to improve the vertical game with X?
I mean, yeah, me and JT, we've known each other even before, coming to Texas together, and we've thrown a couple times before we got on campus, and and even in practices, we've just built a great connection. And with X, we kind of went back to the basics, like we were talking about before. These bowl practices, you really just kind of get that feel back, with whether it's deep balls or just short game and stuff like that.
Go front, hat.
Kyle, who's your backup center entering this game? And then also, can you evaluate how the true freshmen that saw a lot of conventional time between Kelvin, DJ, and Cole played this year?
I'll start with the second question first, and then we can go to the depth a little bit. But one of the neat things about bringing 7 offensive linemen in at the same time like we did last year was it created a lot of competition. And all 7 of those guys have been in the 2 deep the entire year. And that's unique to me. So, again, I've been coaching a little bit here. To have that many young guys in your 2 deep taking reps with the offense and not really on the scout team is a testament to them. How hard they worked when they got here last summer to absorb the offense and be able to function and play at a level that earned them that spot. They weren't given those spots. Kelvin and Cole have played more than the others. DJ would probably be next as the season went on. He earned more and more playing time. And I think, again, this bowl prep for those freshmen has been invaluable. So I'm pleased at how those guys have performed, and I'm excited for what the future brings with them. Oh, the depth chart at center. So Jake's going to start the game at center. You okay with that, Jake?
I think I'm all right.
Okay, all right. So Jake's going to handle that part, and then after that, it could be you could see Cole Hudson at center, you could see Connor Robertson at center, you could see Hayden Connor at center. So we've got some options to work with there in terms of the backup.
Second row, maroon.
Kyle, Sark has talked time and again how important the tight end is in this offense. How would you describe JT's kind of evolution as a blocker, becoming a complete tight end? And then JT, also, what's that transit kind of process been like for you to becoming a complete tight end?
That's really, to me, what makes JT the player he is. I've said this line many times in my career. A tight end that doesn't block is just a slow wide receiver, and nobody's looking for that. So his physicality in the run game gives us a lot of options, and it creates this dilemma on defense. When we put 2 tight ends on the field, and JT's one of them, do you want to play the game in base, which the team we're playing, Washington, has the ability to do and has shown that they will do it, or do you want to play the game in nickel because of what can happen in the passing game, even though you're in 12 personnel? So his physicality in the run game gives us flexibility on offense and creates dilemmas for the defense, which we like. We want every player, every skilled player on our offense, we want to create a problem for the defense. And to do it at the tight end position, you have to be able to do both.
Yeah, that transition just coming from high school, it was kind of frustrating at first, moving to a new position. But I appreciate Coach Banks, Coach Sark, Coach Flood, just all staying on me, pressuring me every day in practice, because they seen the potential in me, and I thank them for that, because they helped me get to where I'm at today. Like you said, being a true complete tight end, and I didn't know there was this much blocking coming from a tight end at first. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. But after I developed and matured, I feel like I definitely love the tight end position now.
Thank you, Jatavian. In front, right.
Kyle, with you guys losing your top 2 running backs, do you think that makes Washington wonder if you're going to throw it a lot more?
I don't know that. I'm assuming they're going to have a press conference. You can ask them. I'd rather not try to predict kind of what their questions are. But I will say this, and I've said this all year. I think that's one of the more talented rooms in our building is that running back room, and Keelan Robinson, Jordan Brooks, Jaden Blue. I'm excited to watch them in this bowl game. They've had a really, really good bowl prep. And they're all talented runners. So, the depth in that room that we've talked about all year, now it's got to show up for us. And, to this point, all the evidence in practice is that they're going to play at a high level.
It's front. Yeah, no. Yeah, front. Back. Down.
Quinn, can you speak a little bit about Jonathan Brooks and kind of what he brings to this team, what you've seen from him in practice over these months?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of feeds off the way he practices. He's a hard practicer, gives a lot of effort, and I think he has some of the best vision I've seen from a running back. It's easy for him to find those holes and kind of sneak through. He's good in the passing game as well. He doesn't drop a whole lot of passes, which, was the quarterback's best friend.
Second row, Teal.
Quinn, your head coach is a former pretty good quarterback back in the day with Coach Sark. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Sark and as a quarterback specifically and what you've garnered from him the most? And then one more thing. Last time Washington was in the Alamo Bowl, Coach Sark was the head coach, and they scored it was 67-56. We anticipate that kind of a offensive output this game.
Yeah. Obviously, Coach Sark was a really good quarterback in college, and it's cool to see because sometimes we'll see the same things and we'll see different things, kind of talk about it, and it's awesome because he has great input on on everything I do, and obviously he's been there, he's done it. But yeah, like you said, it'll be a cool game for him and a couple other coaches that came from Washington. It should be a fun experience overall, and I'm not going to predict anything, but it should be a fun game.
Blue, second row.
Yeah, this was going for Xavier. I'm going to stay on this offensive theme. They've got some pretty big-time receivers as well, and you are as well. Have you thought about that and just the excitement? Because this could be a track meet for the receivers.
Right. Coming into this game, we knowing their offense is a very explosive offense, so we just want to match what they got going on the offensive side of the ball.
Front row, Chip.
For Jake and for Jatavian, what have y'all seen in the bowl practices that have, how would you assess how they've gone, what the team's mindset is? A lot of times it's about which team's motivated to play in these bowl games. What have you seen from your team in the practices? Jatavian, start.
I think I've seen a lot of maturity from the younger guys, like Coach Flo was saying. Just them getting an opportunity in the offense and practice, showing what they really can do, giving them confidence, and it's really starting to show. And I can't wait to see what they got to show on the field.
Anyone in particular?
All of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I'll add on to that. Just seeing the maturity of this group with Bijan and Rose stepping aside, Blue and Jonathan Brooks stepping in, and just seeing the way that they prepared and knowing that we can trust them whenever they're out there. It's just brought a lot of – it's just being able to see that and see the maturity that they have and everybody invest in them. It's just what's made it so, fun to, as a group, just keep evolving with star guys stepping aside. But, it's going to be a good game.
Thank you, Jatavian, then Jake. Second row, Maroon.
Yeah, for Jake and Coach Flood, considering how well you guys ran the ball against Kansas and Baylor the last two games of the year, just how much confidence does this O-line as a group have coming into this game, and what's it been like to have the same starting five for all 12 games, kind of being able to grow together throughout the regular season going into the bowl game?
Yeah, the confidence part, you can't give a player confidence. Confidence is earned by that player by doing things right over and over and over again. And, that's where I think this group having a chance to be together and create some continuity has really helped. But I've said all along, like you need more than five. Usually you get to about 8, in a season on a normal year. And that's where, guys like DJ Campbell, as they come along, guys like Neto and Cam Williams, and they come along, that's really important because, we lost Junior Angelau in the preseason. So we didn't have him for any part of this year. A guy started a lot of football games here at Texas. We didn't have him. So the fact that we were able to stay healthy for the most part, through the season, create some continuity really helped. And I think some of these younger guys starting to come along, DJ's the most obvious one that you see, but we see the other stuff in practice with Neto, with Cam. I think that has allowed us to get better as the year's gone on.
Yeah, I think Coach Flood hit it spot on with whenever it comes to confidence, playing together. You know, you said that, you know, we've had a starting five group, you know, for a long time now. And with that comes, you know, real chemistry, I would say. And I can feel that with the guys next to me. And, you know, with consistency when it comes to calling plays and, you know, we're always on the same page. I mean, it kind of shows you how we were able to go out there and run the ball during conference play. But, you know, credit to those guys, keying in on whatever ID and, you know, Mike in the play, stuff like that. You know, it just shows them that they're bought into me and they're bought into the program.
Thank you, Jake. Front, Cedric, question?
Yeah, for Quinn and Jatavian, Michael Penix is putting up video game type numbers, and this game itself has a history of shootouts. Are you guys excited about the potential of lighting it up like they've done in years past with these two good offenses?
Yeah, you know, they have a really good quarterback over there. I'm playing for them. Like you said, he's put up crazy numbers this year. You know, we're just gonna go into it like we do every other game, and at the end of the day, just try to get a dub. You know, because we know defense is gonna put up a good stand over there, like they always do, and you know, we're just try to stay comfortable and stay on track, and you know, try to go 1-0.
Yeah, hitting off that, we just really need to come play our brand of football, honestly. Because when we do that, I feel like we could be unbeatable. And if we come out and do that, it's definitely going to be a shootout for sure.
Thank you, Quinn and Jatavian. Any final question? Back up.
This one's more for Quinn and JT. You know, the end of the year's coming. Christmas is past, and you know we got a bowl game here in San Antonio, and you guys are in Austin. What's been the mental preparation before game? What you guys gonna be thinking about pregame, and how are you just gonna look into it going into it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what I said. Just kind of treat it like it's, you know, every other game. At the end of the day, try to go 1-0. We're just trying to keep it as simple as that, and not try to let all this other stuff going around us kind of get in our way, and you know, be distractions.
Also, it's a business trip as well, so.
Thank you, Quinn and Jatavian. Front row.
Kyle, I know that Andre has moved on to another program, but he brought something unique with that jumbo tight end. Is that something that you want to replicate maybe going forward in years? And maybe for this game, is that something you see Gunner taking over, or do you see something like that being used in this game?
Well, Gunner has his role already. He's got a big role in this offense as a tight end. The stuff we do where we add a sixth offensive lineman is something that Coach Sark and I have been doing now, even prior to coming to Texas. So we've done that in the past as well. And we've always trained more than one guy to be in that role. And Andre was in that role, but Andre's not with us now. So we've got a couple other guys that are ready to kind of step into that role, because it's always been a big part of our offense. And game to game, it could be different percentages, and definitely how a game goes can affect that as well. But we always have that as something that we do. And I don't think we ever go into a game saying we're not going to do something. We may do a little more of something or a little less of it, but we have pretty much everything available every time we play.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and do breakouts. If I could have the two participants on the end stay and the middle three players get up, and we'll space around the room.